Good morning. If you are getting something out of this content, feel free to like and subscribe. If you are interested in private coaching to help you get some tools to overcome complex PTSD, trauma, narcissistic abuse syndrome, codependency, go to www.coachcat.org. Today, what I'm going to talk about is Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving for those of you in the US that celebrate Thanksgiving. I know it's a sort of a controversial holiday, but I look at it like, well, it's a day to express gratitude. And one of the ways that I sort of work with coaching clients and with myself, one of the ways that I'm able to stay in a positive frame of mind is by getting into a daily practice of gratitude. And so I have some groups that I'm on where we send each other gratitude texts, and I have some people that I work with where we send each other, gratitude tests where we say, what we're grateful for that day. So like, for instance, today I'm so grateful for family. I have really wonderful people in my family. I'm so grateful for my son. I'm so grateful for coffee with cream. I am so grateful for lovely, food. I'm grateful for a home and hot showers. I used to have a mentor that said, honey, are you on fire? And I would say no. And she's like, well, be grateful that you're not on fire. And like, she helped me get into this practice of, even if I didn't feel gratitude, I got into the practice of expressing gratitude. She said, why don't you make a list of everything that you should be grateful for, right? And so like, when we're in this state of gratitude and thankfulness, and we are appreciative of all the things that we have, like, indoor plumbing, running water, hot water, food, family, friends, community. Some of us have automobiles. We have there's gasoline that we can put in our automobiles so we can drive. We have trees and sky and ocean and sunshine and mountains. And, some of us, have, we all have things that we can be grateful for. If you're alive, if you woke up and took a breath of air today and you were able to breathe in oxygen, then that's something to be grateful for. So cultivating a daily practice of three things: meditation, prayer, and gratitude. If you wake up in the morning and I've been waking up in the morning and I immediately put on a guided meditation for gratitude and for joy for that day, and for a morning gratitude meditation. And I'm telling you, it's, 10 minutes when you wake up in the morning, instead of getting on Facebook or Instagram or any of those, sort of social media things, or checking your email or doing any of that business. If you're going to grab your phone, put a guided meditation on and start waking up with that. And then another thing I've been doing is doing some daily mantras of things that are really positive, that I sort of manifesting some positivity in my life. But staying in gratitude for what you have. And like, right now I have like a cup of coffee and it's so delicious, and I'm so grateful for coffee. It's just, there's so many things to be grateful for in our lives. In this video, I'm going to kind of segue. I wanted to start with that morning sort of gratitude and staying in gratitude. And then I'm going to segue into why narcissists often will ruin the holidays, and some things that you can do to sort of keep yourself protected from that ruination, or however you want to put it. One reason that they tend to ruin holidays is they lack empathy. So they don't have any joy in giving or making others happy. They typically, if narcissists are giving, it's always with some expectation of something in return. So gift giving with narcissists is very complicated. It's not freely giving of your heart and your joy and like being happy. I find for myself that I get a lot more joy in giving even than I do in receiving. And I know that's maybe one of my codependent characteristics. It's sometimes uncomfortable for me to receive, but I love to give. It makes me feel, my heart feel good to give of my time and my energy and food and, gifts or whatever makes people happy. But a lot of times with narcissists, they don't get joy in giving because it's not about them, right? So it just isn't something that they find joy in. And any gifts they give are always these weird strings attached, and there's all this weird stuff going on in the shadows with their gift giving. Another reason is it's not all about them, right? So Thanksgiving or holidays are often about celebration or other people, or birthdays are about other people and enjoying, family time or community or whatever, or friends, and it's not about them. So they can be very, sullen and pouty and, or even just have tantrums sometimes on these holidays. They tend to, really, if it's not about them, they're just not into it, right? So, and then they don't do intimacy, responsibility, or obligation. So, sharing special occasions breeds the kind of intimacy that a narcissist just can't handle. It creates expectations that a narcissist doesn't want you or anyone else to have. With the expectations comes the responsibility to behave as if they care about what's best for others. And they really have to put on this performance. So it's grueling to them because they've got to practice their Academy Award winning performance. And sometimes holidays mean getting closer, and they can't allow, their anxiety always gets the better of them, and they will often start a fight, or they'll leave their kids, they won't nurture their kids during holidays. They just, this anxiety that they have, can tend to make it a problem for them, because there's expectations sometimes around holidays and about giving and spending time with your family and intimacy and emotional intimacy. And these are all things that a narcissist is just not in line with. This is not how they work. And then, sometimes during holidays, the narcissist will have found an alternative narcissistic supply. So they might be spending this holiday with someone else. And even if they're there, during the holiday, they might be texting their lover or their girlfriend or their married affair partner or whatever. They're not really with the family. They're disengaged, right? So they're with someone else. So they're trying to get narcissistic supply from outside. So they may be very much not present for the holidays, and that can be very difficult for people that are trying to have community and family and intimacy and reciprocity and loving and gift giving and caregiving and all of that. Those are things that narcissists have a very hard time with. And then misery is their default setting, right? So these people are internally miserable people, right? I mean, I know they present to be nothing bothers them, they're all so happy, but man, I have never met a happy narcissist. They're always they have a mask, but internally they're all, foobar, right? So miserable people create miserable energy wherever they go. So they're dark, and they project that dark, glum, pouty BS onto everyone around them. It's they're that dark cloud is with them, following them wherever they go. It's the dark, rainy cloud. So for the rest of us, where we are trying to bring joy to the holidays and community and laughter and fun and food and, adventure and love and hugs and all of that, they are there sucking the life out of the room, sucking the joy out of the room. They're bringing their dark cloud to everyone, right? So unfortunately, because of these reasons, it can be really difficult to spend holidays with narcissists. And then especially if they have a comorbid addiction of alcohol or drugs or pornography or whatever, because their anxiety and their expectations of family and intimacy and community and giving and receiving, all of that are heightened for a narcissist. They may be more likely to engage in whatever their comorbid addiction is. So they're not present. So they might be getting drunk by themselves, or, drinking with you, but like hiding it. They might be doing drugs. They might be running into the, bathroom to, I don't know, watch porn or whatever it is, or, texting their new source of supply or whatever. So they are not present, and they might be engaging in their comorbid addictions, and they might be getting really drunk and acting like, asses or whatever. So unfortunately, that's another component of it, is they might be doing that. So here are some tips for you to foolproof yourself, or for you to like narc-proof yourself as best you can during the holidays. Like today, focus on gratitude and try your best just to not engage into any of their crazy making. If they start trying to pick a fight or whatever, just, you can say something like, oh, you might be right. You're not saying that they're right. And internally, you might not agree at all that they're right. But who knows? In some strange cyber universe in the fourth dimension, they might be right. You can just say that to diffuse a fight. Like, oh, you might be right. Or that's an interesting perspective. And then drop it. Do not engage in a fight with them. Do not take the bait. Just ignore their ridiculousness. And if you need to go outside and go for a walk, or do something kind for yourself, go take a moment to rest or listen to a meditation, great. You can also write a gratitude list. You can write it to a friend or family, or write it to people that you are thankful for in your life, that you're grateful for. Send them a gratitude list. Say, I'm so grateful that, you can send it to 10 different people. I'm so grateful that I have you in my life. I am so grateful for your love, your compassion, your support, your kindness throughout the years. I'm going to do that today. I'm going to send so many gratitude texts to people that have supported me and loved me and picked me up when I was like crawling across the floor in grief and pain. For me, this is a very it's a difficult holiday in that my brother died 2 years ago tomorrow, on the date tomorrow, and I found his body. I found his dead body, and he's like one of my favorite people in the whole world. I was really close to my brother. I talked to him multiple times a day. I loved him. We shared a recovery journey, and he was just an extraordinary human being, a light. He had his darkness too, like we all have. He had his brokenness, but he had a heart of light. He was a real joy in many ways, and not perfect. Like, he had his trials, believe me. He had difficulties for sure, and he wasn't a perfect person like none of us are, but he was willing to admit his flaws, which is a wonderful thing, to be able to admit where you're broken. Because like Rumi says, like, our broken places are where the light gets in. That's a paraphrase, but like, that's where our light gets in. So, tomorrow is the anniversary of his death, and I today wrote a gratitude list that I am so grateful that I got my brother in my life for 49 years, and they were not all smooth sailing years. There was rocky years where I didn't even speak to him, but in the last decade of his life, I got really close to him, and I'm so grateful that I had my brother and his beautiful heart in my life. And I'm so grateful that I have loving sisters. I'm so grateful for my mama. I'm so grateful for my son. I'm so grateful that I have a home, a roof over my head. I'm so grateful for hot showers. I'm grateful for coffee. I'm grateful for a vegan Thanksgiving dinner that I'm cooking for my sister and my son. I'm grateful for silly Christmas movies that we're going to watch, and we're going to decorate gingerbread houses. I know that's weird traditions, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to go for a hike, and then this weekend I'm going to go climbing. So I'm just having a lot of gratitude and joy in my heart for all the gifts that I have, and for this beautiful life. And I don't think that gratitude is correlated with what you have. Gratitude is being able to see what you have, and you don't need to be a multimillionaire or have the castle in the sky or whatever. You can just be really grateful for the tiny and beautiful gifts that we have of waking up every day and taking a breath, right? So one way to foolproof yourself, or to narc-proof yourself, is to be in gratitude today, and to practice radical self-care. Do some meditation, maybe some yoga before all the festivities begin, and just be so grateful for what you have, and do not allow that dark cloud to come in and affect your joy and your gratitude and your peace and your serenity. So I hope you guys are all having a really wonderful day, and happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.